permission to do so.
And DEP said they fracked.
Yeah, DEP stood right here in my living room and said, well, when they fracked these wells, we were having problems. Excuse me? I mean, I about fell off my chair. So, did you just say frack and this company together? Certainly you did not. Sure did. I mean, it's been round and round and round with DEP. Round and round and round with the gas.
You got papers from DEP, windshield observation. Drive right by the job site. Oh, I seen it. Bye.
Yeah.
We have paperwork that Artemis compressor station down, which is 10 miles away from us, because we were hitting the senators about our arsenic issue. And the senator's secretary wrote to a friend of hers in an email about our arsenic issue. And that woman actually emailed all the way through DEP, and they were answering her about the arsenic issue. And there was, his last name's Bowman. And if I ever get a chance to ever meet the man, if he's still alive, I would like to walk up to him and shake his hand. Because out of all this email, he's the only one that said, let's talk about the arsenic. Are they losing animals? Are these people's health at risk? And how they handled it was, first of all, this is in Bedford County. Like we've got the plague anyway. Second of all, the Artemis compressor station, natural gas compressor station, which is 10 miles away, is considered, it's in the old waste-filled dump folder. So, are you telling me that the natural gas compressor station is considered a dump? Then what's this on top of my hill? A dump? So...
Let's talk about the animals. I mean, we're here on a farm. You guys raise cattle. I think you said you have chickens and stuff like that.
We did have chickens.
You did or no?
Did have chickens. They all
died.
But we'll get to that in a
We got one
second.
rooster left.
Do you have a farm or a garden somewhere?
Yeah.
And then there's the blueberries.
Right.
550 of them.
So, I mean, talk a little bit about how that's affected your animals and what it's done to them and what you've, and how many you've lost, stuff like that.
We lost a horse.
2 cows.
2 cows.
No 7.
We lost calves. They were
stillborn,
aborted.
Now, when you say that, I mean, it happens every now and then, right?
Yeah, but
It
not like this. I mean, it was just...
That's just 07, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, I mean, we would...
07, 08, 09.
Like, how many do you have on generally in a good year? Before this, how many new cows would you get?
We had about 25, 30 calves. But we was up to 50 head of cattle. Counting calves and everything.
So say after 07...
We just after we lost them 2 first cows, we just started cutting back. We just got rid of cows, calves.
They were, well, the one had a baby. The one cow had a baby. And it was
twins.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about Funny Face. She had a baby and it was...
No hair.
No hair. Dead.
She boarded it.
Yep. So, she's never bred back since then.
And that's why she's up here, so she can ready to go to the market. But we're afraid to put meat in the market, in the food chain.
Well, what are you eating at McDonald's?
I mean, what's in it, you know? I mean, we got conscious.
Brazil.
I mean, gas company ain't got no conscious, you know. We worry about what we're feeding people.
Yeah.
If somebody bought it and took it home for their own consumption, one person by itself, you know, bought that animal for its own, and we knew there was something wrong with it. It looks good and everything, but that's the way the cows have died. They come up and they feed that night, and the next day they're out eating, and the next day they're gone. I mean, they feed, everything, and just quick, bang.
We bought chickens, and our chickens
just started dropping over dead.
Just started dropping over.
When did you get chickens?
08.
Yeah, we had chickens before that.
Yeah, we had chickens before that.
They get started whittling down, so
we thought maybe a fox was getting them. So
we got rid on reds off a hayman over here.
He raised them. So we got them, and what they would do is you would just find them fell over dead. Then we had the last one that was alive, and she would come here on the porch with me, and I'd feed her blueberries, because I'd be sorting blueberries, and she'd sit beside me and I'd feed her blueberries. And then it was a couple days after that, she was laying out there on the flatbed dead. So, but yeah, we still have the rooster, but the rooster was born and raised here. Did he build up some kind of immune system to it? I have no idea. But then we have the geese that were pretty well raised here.
And they're young. One got double beak.
Yeah, one's got double beak. That came one.
Coming out the bottom.
And then we had a Rottweiler, and one night she just started breathing really hard.
How old was she?
She was just a pup.
Yeah, she was very old, a couple years old.
Yeah. So, I told him, I said, well, look, you know, it's late. I'll call Lisa in the morning. And he was like, okay. And I mean, we went to bed, and she was just, you could just hear her just breathe so hard.
Eat and everything too. I mean.
Yep, she'd eat everything.
Play.
So the next morning about 6 o'clock, I reached down because she always slept beside my bed. I reached down, I turned the light on, I said she's gone. So then we had Ashy Pop.
Norfolk Terrier.
She was a little Norfolk Terrier, and she was just like wasting away. So I took her down to the vet, and the vet, she can't find nothing wrong with her. She'd get herself in a corner, and she'd scream bloody murder. She couldn't figure out how to get out of it. And the vet's saying, I don't know what's wrong with her. I have no idea. I have no idea. So he got sick around the same time. His body was just like
all
swell up like he was on water bags.
Like air pockets go up over top of the ribs. Look like now, see, like fluid over top of the rib cage.
Yeah.
So I took him. We took him. I had to put her in a cage because she'd get in the house and she would get lost and scream bloody murder. So I took him to the doctors, and they wanted to do. That's when they did blood work and
And get gallbladder out.
they wanted to take a pinch of his liver. So they wanted me to bring him up the next morning for some more blood tests. And I was like, well, you know, I don't feel right leaving her in a cage all day. I couldn't put any water in there with her because she'd sit there and she'd go to sleep right in the water. She'd drown. So I just left her out. And I took him up to the hospital to get blood work done. And after he got his blood work done, they got a reading back on his liver. And the doctor took us out in the hallway, and the doctor kind of snuck around and was kind of seeing who was in the hallway, and he goes, Wayne, you got to quit drinking. And me and Wayne kind of looked at each other, drinking.
Well, that's what I'm sitting here thinking.
Yeah.
I watched my papa.
told him to quit drinking.
Yeah.
And Wayne don't drink.
No, not at all.
He was like,
Used to.
He was like, well,
Beer here and there, you know, try whiskey.
Well, he's got to quit drinking. I said, he's not drinking. He hasn't drank since what, 14 years?
Yeah.
And I mean, this guy's acting like that he's kicking back.
Well, what you were talking about, I watched my papa with the same symptoms. His belly would swell up because his liver had cirrhosis. Yeah.
So we came home, and here, I left my purse here on the back of the chair, and somehow she got the purse around her neck and she hung herself. So when we came home, she was dead.
Yeah.
So then Mom went on vacation, and she had a Dalmatian. So Mom said, well, you watch the dog for me. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, not a problem. Well, when Mom came back from vacation, the dog refused to go home with her. So Mom said, well, I'm not going to keep the dog if she's not happy with me. Go ahead and take the dog. Well, then she got diagnosed with kidney disease.
The dog?
Mm-hmm. So she died.
How long was she here on the property?
A couple years.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's where we found out we had arsenic in the water.
Yeah, that's where we found out we had arsenic.
High iron.
High iron.
Mm-hmm.
They're treating him for high iron in his blood.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the genes.
Yeah.
He's got one gene of the two that you need to have the homocritisis. He only has one gene, but his iron level is high. Then they were sending me to the cancer doctor for high white blood count. So we were just like, you know, running back and forth to doctors. Weren't we?
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing.
And you were telling me, actually, let's cover this first. You've got a spring and an artesian well on the property.
Plus springs up in the woods.
Right. But you have two that you have.
Water supplies, yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, you've had both of those tested.
Right.
Right. So let's start with which one did you find out was bad first?
The well.
The well.
The artesian well.
Yeah, the artesian well.
And that had been here for how long?
When was that well drilled? 89?
Yeah.